Hey YouTube, Kamen Rider here, coming at you with a small but big bit of Kamen Rider news. There's not like a huge amount to talk about, but it is big news. We have the trademark for next year's Rider, which is Kamen Rider Zetz. I think that's how you pronounce it for now. There's probably going to be multiple different ways until we hear it said, and then even then, I've heard it both ways. So there's not a whole lot to glean from this. I looked around a little bit because sometimes when we get these names, people are able to translate or bring context to it for Sentai and Rider. You always take that with a grain of salt though, just because that can change. Like I remember at one point we thought Ryusoldier was going to be dragons because of, there's something with Japanese language and dragons and dinosaurs. But I've seen that happen a couple times where we thought it was one thing and it was another. I think Gavv was called fairly early on as having to do with food. I see people already thinking this might have to do with like spices or zest. You know, it could be flavorings, I don't know. I saw one person saying like, oh, it's 3 Z's, so it's gonna be sleep. I don't think it's that, who knows? Now it's probably gonna be that because I just said that. I'm not saying I don't want it to be another food Rider in the sense that I'm vehemently against it, but I would like to see something different. Admittedly, if there was something food or spice related, you could do some fun stuff with the eventual crossover, but I do want to see it be something different. But as with always with this, you don't really have a whole lot to talk about, just kind of speculating on what you'd like to see. Kind of in the opposite position as I was last year, whereas, you know, you probably know, I wasn't enjoying Gotchard so much, so I was excited to move on to whatever was next, and thankfully I've really been enjoying Gavv. Honestly, if anything, this has just reminded me like how fast Gavv has gone. It's really weird because I thought Boom Boomger went really fast, but Gavv I've just been vibing with it to such a degree that I haven't really thought about how fast it's gone until now, where it feels like we kind of just started in a way and we have a lot left to go, but at the same time I'm like, wow, we are really over halfway through. That's kind of crazy, honestly, and I really just hope that next year is half as good and we don't go back to a Gotchard slump, because it would be unfortunate to have this up-down. Geets gets me in and Gotchard kicks me out. Gavv gets me in and then Zeb or whatever, Zetsugo Jinrai-net kicks me out or whatever. So I just hope this is good. I would not be against a food thing. Like I'm not going to go online and campaign against if it was somehow food or flavoring, zest, whatever related again. But I do want to see something different. I do like the fact that you have series like Gaim and Gavv that look so outwardly silly. And don't get me wrong, there's silliness in there, especially with Gavv. But they end up being so good where you could totally see it just being a parody series of itself. So whatever it is, I just hope they continue what at least Gavv is doing. I always say this every year. I would like to see us innovate a little bit more. You know, Geets was like 1 year of sort of innovation. Like, don't get me wrong, it did some things different, but it didn't feel as experimental as it could have. And I get that Toei has a harder time wanting to experiment with Rider because it's more of a proven performer, but that's probably the #1 thing I'd like to see, is do kind of like a Zenkaiger through King Oger type run where we get 2, maybe 3 years being a little experimental with maybe the formula, the amount of riders. I think doing a 1 Rider series would be cool. They'd have to go balls out on the forms and just do a bazillion forms because they'd have to do the merchandising, but I think it would be cool to get a 1 Rider series. Don't think we'll get that, but my #1 request, like I said, I'd love to just see some innovation, but at the very least, just continue what Gavv is doing and continue to make it enjoyable. You know, it's going to be kind of exciting as we roll out and get more news and transform as well. No, but get more news and we start getting pictures and rumors. We might even see some filming pictures at some point. They might be already filming. You know, maybe his cameo will get leaked, like in terms of a set photo like we did with Gavv with this, who knows. But it'll be an exciting time covering this and seeing what rolls out. But at the same time, I don't know why I'm saying rolling out so much. Did I just come from the Transformers universe? But anyway, it'll be exciting, but I'll definitely be sad to see Gavv go, but I'm glad we at least have almost half a year. But what do you think this name could be? Are you excited for a new Rider? What type of theme are you hoping for? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Kamen Rider, signing out.